Hello everyone, welcome back to another Agent of Mischief sim build. Again, in The Sims 4, this is the Georgian Gem. This is one of my own designs, and it should also still be within the realm of starter home, purchase-wise. I'll have to double check what price it's at, but I think it's around $35,000. So, let's get into it. So this build is a 7x8, 7 width, 8 back, with a small 3x4 office on the side. I got the idea for this house because Georgian style is one of my favorite architecture styles, and I found a picture of this cute little Georgian farmhouse on Google, and as soon as I saw it, I absolutely wanted to build it. It was very small but very cute, and I always liked that colonial sort of look, and so that's what I was trying to emulate with this, including where the windows came down and where the doors are in. All of that is according to this picture that I found, but the inside is completely how I've designed it myself. I had to map it out because I knew it was going to be smaller than usual, which is also why I picked one of the smallest lots, but it's still a good size. It's about a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, or 2.5 bath, and you've got a full kitchen and living room, office, dining room. I tried to put in a balcony just off of where the master is, but it just didn't work. The door didn't fit with the bed, so I ended up taking that out, but the balcony would have been right where the office, right on top of where the office is. So instead I opted to do a shorter wall and some nice not really decoration, but some nice accenting for the outside, and so it turns out really pretty. And what? Just look at this roof. I'm just gonna sit here a moment and bask in my pride. I'm just kidding. I told you that some of my other builds had much easier roofs to handle than my first episode did. So this is one of them. It took a minute, and it's simple and pretty. So there you go. And right here, I'm just looking for the right front door. The one I really wanted didn't actually seem to fit because if you can see, the stairs only have that one block up. So I really needed like a 1-block door. But the best one for it, the one that looked closest to the picture that I said I used as a basis, it didn't actually fit. It was a 2-block door, so I had to find one that was close enough in a 1-block door. And as you're seeing right now, it's pretty much the same thing with the windows. I really wanted the shutters because that is kind of a Georgian staple, but it just wasn't working. The shutters made the windows too wide and meant that the rest of it was kind of set weirdly, so the front of the house didn't look right. And right here, I'm just changing the size of the balcony wall because at the height it was at, it just looked way too tall, especially with the brick, and I wanted that kind of crown molding facade on the outside because that was very common for those little offshoots or little garden rooms for the Georgian style, which is why I did that. But to make it tie in correctly, I wanted to make sure that that little wall of the balcony was also white on the outside, because with the brick it just looked weird. So yeah, pretty much that's the outside. I'm just putting the last of the windows on, so everything looks tied together and everything looks lined up. I really like how the windows lined up on the sides correctly, and it really ties in later when I add the chimneys. So now we go inside, and on the inside, starting with the floors, I did hardwood floors throughout because in most of those colonial homes, it's pretty much hardwood floors and rugs if you got them, but it really ties in that colonial look that I was going for, and who doesn't love hardwood floors? I mean, it's kind of a staple now in modern design. I mean, seriously, go to any HGTV show and show me a couple that doesn't want hardwood floors in their house. I dare you, because I've been watching it for years and I haven't found one in any show that isn't like, oh my god, hardwood floors. And not gonna lie, I really do see the appeal. I in our current house, I really want to put in hardwood floors, but we're holding off because we've got 2 dogs who will scratch the ever-living life out of them. And speaking of dogs, I should note that I'm recording this episode in 2 different sessions. In the current session I'm recording in, I've got both of my dogs sitting right next to me, and so if you hear any barking, I'm sorry, or growling, or any of that. It's kind of late where I am, and they get a little jumpy at night. So, again, sorry if you hear anything doggy. Anyway, so I've moved on to furnishing, and the furnishing is mainly the same. Again, I tried to go for more colonial or classical types of furniture. As you can see, I chose one of the older looking sofas with the wood frame rather than one of the more modern sofas. The dining room is a solid wood set, and even the study has more of a classical feel to it, except for the chair. I don't know, if anybody else is sitting in an office for most of the day, you wouldn't want to be sitting in a wooden chair all day. You want comfort. So for it being an office, I was like, you know what, I'll secede on that one and just give this person a nice comfy chair for their office. And right now I'm clearly struggling with putting together the kitchen, and that's mostly because the width for all of the rooms downstairs, including the office, are all three blocks, which doesn't leave a lot of room. If I do a galley kitchen, I wanted to put in a bar or island for the kitchen, but it just wasn't going to work. And then the fridge, there would be no place for the fridge. I tried to put it right under the stairs, as you saw, but that just seemed like way out of place and just awkward. So I ended up rearranging the kitchen a bit and moving the fridge in between. It's on the edge of the kitchen, but right next to the dining room, just so it's there. And the color I picked for the kitchen cabinets, and I chose that, again, these are my favorite counters in the entire game. I've downloaded some custom content. My husband says I'm addicted to the custom content now, because ever since I hopped on the Sim resource, I was like, oh my gosh, yes, all of this. So I have a bunch of custom content now that I use in my current builds, but from the original game, which is what I was building this house with, I just really love those countertops, and I wanted to go, instead of having more of a granite style countertop or marble like I have in a bunch of other builds, I really wanted to do the more butcher block counter, which is also really pretty. It looks really nice in kitchens. I have a family member who has a butcher block countertop, and it just looks really nice, and their house is an old colonial, so I did kind of mimic off of their style in bits and places. They do also have a lot of the older style furnishing, because a lot of it's inherited, but you have all that. I was really trying to mirror off that, because it really keeps within the colonial style, but is also very modern and also very chic. And now we've moved upstairs. I forgot to mention that in all of the bathrooms I put the white marble tile down. I just think that was it's so pretty, and it's also just such a classic, timeless look, especially in a bathroom. And for the bathroom, I also wanted to do like a clawfoot bathtub and the really fancy sink, and just keep it classy looking, just very classical, and the kind of bathroom that you would really want in a house that looks like this. Except for the guest bathroom, because there isn't enough room for a bathtub, I ended up getting a really nice shower that looks very nice. It's not as classical looking. It's more modern, but it's still very pretty. And I have a fireplace in the master bedroom. Again, that's to play with the whole dual chimneys. You have to have a fireplace on like each side for it to kind of work, and that was very common in those types of houses. And that was because structurally, when they were built, there wasn't heating. There wasn't like a little thermostat for you. You had to have a fireplace on either side of the house to kind of like heat both sides of the house. So that's pretty much, even though it's not necessary now, I felt just to keep it within that style, I felt it was very nice. So again, running with the understanding that the chimneys aren't really necessary, having that chimney facade on the side actually really helped with the design plan for one of the second kid bedrooms, because if you look in between the second bathroom and the front bedroom, there's a little 2x3 room, and when I originally designed it, that was going to be a small little nursery, because the toddler beds, you only need 2 blocks for that, and some of the dressers for toddlers are a 1 block, so you'd have enough room for toddler bed, toddler dresser, and maybe a toy. But when I actually went into building, it wasn't working like that, and so when I realized, hey, I probably need to just add a second kind of chimney facade thing just so it looks correct up top on the roof, and the chimneys actually sit correctly, and that also I realized would give me extra room downstairs in the living room to kind of bump out that fireplace and give people some extra walking room back there, which is really nice and was very necessary. I decided to just roll with that. It also gives me extra room in the master bedroom, and the master bedroom was really the reason why I did it, because I had the fireplace in the master bedroom, but you couldn't fit in a bed with the fireplace. It didn't work. And I also realized while building this, you can't fit in a bed with the door there, so the balcony that I had originally planned on having for the master bedroom just ends up being this kind of, hey, there's an empty space here that you can't access. So now the furnishing's almost done. As you can see, I think I do some light decorating, because again, I'm trying to make sure that this is within a decent budget, so it's not you don't have to work too hard to get to it. But I wanted to go into some of the things I mentioned in my last video that I was thinking about doing a series that I had kind of, I don't want to say picked up The Sims again, but kind of. It had been a while since I had played it. I hopped back on because I was doing the 100 Baby Challenge, and I was willing to do that again. But since the last time I recorded, I did one of those breed out the weird challenges, or I'm not a huge fan of breed out the ugly, but breed out the strange. You know what I'm talking about. There's a challenge where you go through each 10 generations of genetics to start from a very unfortunate looking sim to hopefully one that is really attractive. And so I did that for male and female, and they turned out amazing. But somehow within the breeding process, a baby got thrown into the family, and as I've found, you can't delete a baby out of the create a sim. When you have the family there, it just has, and hey, there's a baby in here. It's not like, it wasn't toddler, it was a legit baby. So, and you can't delete them out. So I feel like I'm gonna start a series with them. I already filmed me building their first house, and I feel like anybody who wants to watch that series, they'll get to have more say than any other like plan I had or any challenge. And that one I can play for a couple generations and do some more like fun, relaxing stuff with it. I'll probably go into showing you what Sims look like before I start playing, and also going into the first house build. I'll probably do a kind of mix between a rags to riches or dream house kind of challenge with them, where I'll kind of map out how I want to play them. But pretty much the idea, after I realized that you can't delete out that baby, the idea kind of started evolving up to, well, neither of these two Sims are the parent. And dang, that's all the time I really have to go into it. So pretty much summation series going to be about two people who didn't have a baby together but are suddenly in charge of a baby. And now into the design of the house. Here is the house on the outside, and let's go inside and check it out. Alright, so here's the foyer. It's kind of an open floor plan, but not really. As soon as you walk in, you're able to see through the living room. Going right here, we've got the powder room, which is a very simple room. You got the sink, bathroom, and that's it. Nice window for light, and that's all you really need for the powder room. Now, back to the living room. I wasn't able to put a TV in there because I couldn't put one mounted on the fireplace, but if you have a really nice fireplace that will fit in that spot and you can put a TV above it, props to you. And then I go into the kitchen. Again, wasn't able to put in an island, but I was able to put in the sink, stove, and fridge, pretty much all you really need for a good functioning kitchen, as well as countertops. And then into the dining room, I decorated it with a small little fruit platter in the center, and I had to do a 5-seating table rather than a 6-seating table because of the opening for the office, which you've already kind of seen. So now I'm moving out and going upstairs, and I'll be honest, I probably have too much fun with this one heading right here. And then I'll leave upstairs so you kind of see what the first part of the hallway looks like, and we'll go into the master bedroom first. So as soon as you walk in, you can kind of see it's kind of a basic setup with the queen bed. I've got the brick accent wall on the same side as the fireplace because I wanted the fireplace to look like it was part of the wall, but the only way I could do that is if I had the brick wall there. And again, in the bathroom is pretty much the same kind of classical colonial look. I got the closet bathtub, and I'm just realizing that I forgot to put in the toilet paper roll, so I will see about putting that in before, or re-uploading this house and putting one in for y'all before the video airs. Okay, now we're going into the smaller bedroom, which I think I decorated rather nicely. Again, that also has the brick wall, but that one was more as a continuation of the chimney from downstairs, and so I thought that was like a nice carry through, and it ties in well with the rest of the furniture. And into the last bedroom, because the smaller bedroom was all dark red and most of the furniture had a darker look to it and it was slightly more gothic, I decided to go a lot more bright and princessy. And this one's, it's a whiter room. All of the carpet in there is gray and white. The furniture is all white, well, except for the obvious table and computer. But other than that, that's it. So tell me what you think, leave a comment below, especially tell me what you think about the series idea. I'll be going more into it in the next couple episodes, but I would really like to hear your thoughts on it. And again, this house will be available in the gallery, so just search #Agent of Mischief and you should be able to see it there. Hit the bell for any notifications and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.